people see things from the outside. They see the smiles, but they never see the frowns behind the face.
Yes.
Yeah.
They just don't. And it takes a lot. It really takes a lot to do what it is that I'm doing. And people look from the outside and say, I want what he got. I want what he does. No, you don't want to go through what I have. You don't want to do what it takes. You really don't. Because I have to do the job of, I have to do everybody's jobs that it takes to put a recording artist out there.
Hey, you guys, welcome to another episode of Making It. My name is Kenan Cooley, and I am with the wonderful
Alvin Chia. Hey, Kenan, how you doing?
I am awesome. How are you?
I'm awesome. I think you mentioned, and I think you're right, that this is the first time we've talked this year.
It is on camera.
On camera.
Because you know how you've been over, you've been in my area.
True.
I saw you guys perform recently. Yay!
Well, you know, society, if it doesn't happen on camera, it didn't happen.
It didn't happen, exactly.
Yeah.
So this is the first time I've seen you.
Yes.
On
camera. Yeah. So we got an amazing guest today, and honestly, I'm a fan of his.
Me too.
A lot of time we talk to people and they're in the business and you admire what they do, but you're not necessarily a fan. You appreciate their depth. This guy, I'm an actual fan of. Love his music, love his spirit, and followed him from that first project. And we get to talk to him today because you hooked it up, because you are that girl.
But it was your person who you said for me to hook up. So we are those people. Simpatico.
So,
No, but you're right. Frank is one of those people. Oh, I sort of gave it away. But Frank is one of those people who, when you hear his music, you want to hear it again and again. Like a friend of mine introduced me to his music.
Yeah.
And after that, I was like, okay, I got to get the DVDs. Or I kind of dated myself, but I got to get the music. I got to get the digital. He really is a great artist that you want to keep hearing over and over again. And really has a very unique sound as well.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
Since I gave it almost all the way, let's have Mr. Frank McComb. Welcome,
Frank. Welcome. You're so glad you're here.
What's happening? Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So, we were gloating about you off stage about how not only do we love your sound, but we love just who you are as a person, and then your music. Because I was introduced to you by a friend, and then your sound is unique for me. Like it's just, I enjoy not only just the way you sing, but your sound, and of course you're talented on the piano as well. So so we were definitely having a good little gloat session before you showed up. But thank you for being here. And tell us a bit about how you started.
Wow, thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. I started out, well, first off, I knew what I wanted to do from the time I was probably 3 or 4.
Wow.
Before I even knew what a Fender Rhodes was. I knew the sound of it, but didn't know what it was. I came from a little small holiness church where I watched my grandmother and all of my aunts sing and my mom sing. So 2 of my aunts play piano. So I was always blown away watching somebody play and sing. So I knew what I wanted to do from the time I was a kid. So I turned 8, and
so who taught you? Was it your aunts that taught you?
My Aunt Evelina. By the time I turned 12, I mean, drums was the first instrument at 8, but then I saw Evelina playing piano. She was writing this blues tune after a church service. And I thought that was the coolest thing, because she's writing a blues tune in church, like right after service. I want to do that. So I told her, teach me. I'm about 12 years old. She says, okay, Red, I'm gonna teach. Red was my nickname because I always turned red when I cried or laughed real hard. So we get back to my mom's house, and she brings this little Tinker Toy Casio and puts it on my mom's dining room table and says, come here, Red. And I was like, not today. I don't want to learn today. Oh, you don't mess with Auntie. Ain't about no music. You sit down here and sat. And I said, sat down here and learn.
Gotcha.
I had 3 1-hour lessons with her. 1 hour for 1 hour for 3 Sundays in a row. Then she had to stop teaching me. And then I started scratching on my mother's records. Back then, we didn't have the technology back then that we have now, where I had to put the needle on, listen to the lick, and try to listen to it real fast and remember it, go back and play it. And and then that's how it all started for me. 3 lessons, literally. Fast forward to about 1989, 88, somewhere around that time. I was sitting with George Benson at a concert backstage. And I mean, I've known him since I was maybe 17. And I asked him out of the blue, I said, how is it that you play what you sing and sing what you play so well? You know what he said to me? It's all from the same brain. If you can sing it, teach your hand to play it. Yeah. And that's actually what happened, you know. So I got really familiar with the piano then. So yeah, that's how I actually got started as far as, you know, becoming a musician and singer. But I started at 12 playing piano.
Yeah.
I was hitting bars by the time I was 15, 16. At 17, I had my first trio, but I wouldn't sing in public. I would only play. I wouldn't sing in public because, you know, the school that I went to, the Cleveland School of the Arts, everybody there, you know, it was a magnet school for gifted, right? And they knew that I could sing. And I always heard, man, you sound like Stevie Wonder, you sound like Donny Hathaway. But being young, I took it the wrong way. We're trying to say that I was trying to sound like them, but I wasn't. I'm the only man in my family. You know, everybody else, you know, I'm the only man in my family that sings. Everybody else is all female. Right. So there was no man to reference me to. So that, you know, so I took it the wrong way. So I wouldn't sing. I was just like, I'm not trying to beat them. Let me just play, you know. Right. But then, you know, once I became musical director for the Rude Boys, that's when Eddie and Gerald started teasing me. Eddie and Gerald started teasing me. They'll walk up by me while I'm getting ready for rehearsal. Yeah. And they'll have a little conversation to themselves. Hey, Pop, what is it, Gerald? See him right there? Yeah, I see him. He don't want to make no money. He don't want to open his mouth and sing. So, yeah. And then once again, talking to Benson, you know, I said, man, everybody's trying to say I'm sounding like Donnie and Stevie, and I'm not trying to sound like them. I'm trying to have my own sound. And you know what he told me? Again, he gave me some good advice. He said, anytime somebody tells you sound like a legend, you better run with it. Take it and run with it. He said they could be calling you the opposite. They could be lining you up to some people that ain't good. So you might want to like.
That's his story. I remember that they were trying to get him. He was only about the guitar, and they were trying to get him to sing. And I don't know if somebody got sick or whatever it is. He finally stepped out and was like, "Yeah, oh, and look at him now." Yeah, exactly. From jazz to pop. Yeah, man. So, you know what's funny? I as a singer. When I first heard your first project, man, I was like, this cat right here. But because I'm a singer, I know that I was like, I don't want to ask him if that's his main influence or that just because there could be real. Kim Burrell dealt with that with the Clark sisters. Everybody's like, oh, you trying to be like Clark sisters. She's like, no, this is just my style, how it's coming out. So I didn't know if you were sensitive to that. But I mean, that would be the ultimate tribute. When I was a young kid, yeah. But I came on out of that. But you know what? I will be honest. I will tell you this. It took 10 years. I mean, in my professional career, it took 10 years of people asking me, when you gonna do a tribute to Donnie? Right. You know, after I had already started my career, but then people have been asking me for 10 years, when are you gonna do a tribute? I wouldn't do it because people are cruel. Yeah. They almost set you up. You know, when God made one gifted man or woman, he didn't stop there. So, but people don't get that. And the first thing what I did not want is for somebody to say, "Oh, he ain't doing it." Right. Oh, I'm not Donnie. I have a hard enough time being myself.
That's a compliment. But I think that you also have to grasp that they are associating with something great. Like, you know, they're associating with a sound they like. That person they like the style, and that they're not. Well, I mean, some people will, and you can make everyone happy. But you know, timing is everything. It took a good 10 years before I would do it, and it took for the right person and the right time to both come together and hit me at the same time, and that's what happened. I had just played a show in Seattle, flew to New York to play a place called the Bitter End, and the late Kenny Gorka, who ran the spot, said to me. We were talking about a record I had just recorded in South Africa, a live album. And he said to me, why don't you do a live record here? And I was like, really? The Bitter End? He said, yeah, because anybody's been in a place and pretty much been in a place. All the legends from before, you know. Yeah. Curtis did a live record there. Curtis Mayfield, Donnie. Donnie's live album, the Donnie Hathaway live record, most of that was recorded at the Bitter End in New York. Yeah. Miles Davis has played there. So many people have played there. Many live records were done there. So for Kenny Gorka to say, I'm going to give you this room for free, do a live record. I can't tell him no. Absolutely. The great Roy Ayers told me, never tell Hollywood and New York no, because they'll never call you back, most likely. So I could not tell the Pearls, brother. No. Huh? Yeah, I couldn't tell Kenny Gorka no.
we all have to be a survivor. The things change, the template changes, you keep going. Record labels fall away, you keep going. The band falls away, you keep going. What do you has there been a point yet where you're like, I don't know if I keep doing this, or does it invigorate you like, all right, it's got to go over here?
Which one of those moments you want to talk about? I'm gonna tell you something.
Say no more.
Let me tell you something. Woo! How do I say this in humility without being taken the wrong way?
Right.
People see things from the outside. They see the smiles, but they never see the frowns behind the face.
Yes.
Yeah.
They just don't. And it takes a lot. It really takes a lot to do what it is that I'm doing. And people look from the outside and say, I want what he got. I want what he does. No, you don't want to go through what I have. You don't want to do what it takes. You really don't. Because I have to do the job of, I have to do everybody's jobs that it takes to put a recording artist out there.
Yeah.
Even down to the studio work, recording my own music, mixing it, mastering it, and selling it directly to the public, being my own distributor. So I'm on my own studio, I'm my own musician, I'm my own distributor.
And
that's just the records. We're not talking about the concerts. I still book my own concerts. I go and play my concerts. I negotiate all my own deals. So not everybody is equipped to do that, but God has anointed me because he knew the path I was going to take. I thought I was going to be, let me put it to you this way. I thought I was going to be a star, but brother, stars fall.
Yeah.
They fall.
Come on, preach on it, Frank.
I didn't know this was going to be my ministry. And it's really my ministry. I just, sometimes I'll read the comments purposely just to see where I'm at with people. I'll read the comments on Facebook, on Instagram. And just last night, I read what a guy said to my Love Stories album, which is 23 years old, just turned 23.
Great project.
He said that album got him through some of the coldest, toughest times. Thank you, Frank.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's the stuff, that's what I realized, this is more than just a plaque or two. And it's not to knock any awards or anything, because I just got best male artist, best independent male artist of the year for Indie Soul charts, which I'm really happy about too. I'm grateful for that. I just got that. So I'm gonna be like you in a minute, man. I'm gonna be like you in a minute. I'm gonna be like you.
And
there's gonna be no speakers back there.
If I touch them, they'll go poof.
That's inspirational. But yeah, so that right there is, that's a reward within itself. Awards are great, but rewards are great too. And for that man to say that, it really, really blessed me, man, because it lets me know that I'm on the right track.
Yeah. Yeah, you are. You absolutely are.
Nothing that I did was in vain, and nothing I went through was in vain.
But often Alan and I talk a lot about awards because they come and go. And sometimes after you win an award, then you have that, I'll call it, thing you have to do where you have to now be in honor of it and keep going higher and higher. Sometimes that's even harder than not winning. But the real thing, like you said, is touching people, making people enjoy and understand the music that you're producing, because that's coming from you. The award is something that's external that kind of comes and goes, and then next year somebody beats you out and it's over, right? But you've got to keep going for years and years. So that stuff is just external. And really the best gift you can get is what you said, somebody saying, you got me through this rough time.
Man,
it inspires me.
You'd be surprised at the stories that come back to me.
Yeah.
Marriages that were saved, but marriages that, let me put it to you this way, marriages that started, but then marriages that were saved.
Yeah.
Divorces that were avoided, know. And my wife and I was just talking the other day, and she said something.
By the way, how many years for you all?
Oh, it'll be 29 this year. 30 together, 29 married.
That's another award, right?
That's a real award. That's a real award.
If people only knew what we fight,
that's a real award.
Have gone through in this business, they would.
And in show business, that's like 60 years.
It is. It is, man. I'm telling you, she's been my rock, my backbone. I'm telling you, man. When I did that support system, she was always that support system. Still is. Yeah. But people don't realize that we were just talking about it. She was just saying how recording artists and songwriters should be careful of the songs you write, because some of those things I'm sure you've lived or you're gonna live them. And some of those tunes I've had to live, like Keep Pushing On from the Love Stories record. A lot
Yeah.
of people don't know. I was going through, man. I was losing my place when I wrote that song, but I had to
Oh.
minister to myself. Oh yeah. Oh, see, that's what people don't understand. You know,
Yeah.
people run from ministry. They run from it. Yeah, they think it's just about shouting and screaming and hallelujah, but yeah, you gotta walk it.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's real. It's
But
absolutely.
I think the best music and best performers or best entertainers come from, I won't say your pain, but you know, the struggles that you kind of express, that you get through, and because of the kind of music that you do perform, they know, I don't want to say you should live in struggle, but those things you can
I feel you.
And come from those and get, and share that with other people, because love songs and songs of the heart are not necessarily, we're happy sometimes, but a lot of times we just want to be other things and be related to in that way. And I think it does,
Yeah, and it's about being a place of release for people. It's not always about the artist,
Yeah.
It's not always about the artist. I just believe that truly, I had to learn to believe. Let me put it to you this way. I had to learn to believe that it's about the other person first. It is. I mean, no, let me take that back. Second, because you got to be your own first. You got to be your own number one.
Yeah.
So, but when writing the songs, it's not, to me, it's I don't have to go through it anymore. I have learned to write music without having to go through it and just experience somebody else's pain or somebody else's joy. Or I could be sitting down watching a movie and there could be a scene with no music and I can hear the music to it.
Wow.
I can hear the music that's going on in the scene and be like, well, nah, I could have done that a little better.
Yeah. That's happened to me. The reverse of that has happened to me. I've been watching a scene, couldn't hear the dialogue of the scene, but a song will come on, like a gospel thing, and it will mess me all the way up. I don't know what they're talking about up there.
So hallelujah. So
I get it, man. Music is powerful.
It is so powerful.
It is.
Yeah. It's so powerful.
I think music is also the thing that will bring people together when nothing else will.
Yeah.
Politics and all of that stuff is going on.
See, you touched on something right there. See that there? See what you did, that girl. Let me tell you something. Music, I will tell you, from my experience, from this side of the world, this side of heaven over here, music was used in politics, that, you know what I'm saying? Music was used for movements. And nowadays, I hate to say it, but I don't see where music is being used in that way, at least like it was back then.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's been taken out of schools.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I have to be honest, I'm so disappointed with mainstream radio.
Yeah.
Right. Because I don't hear anything that moves me. I don't hear a lot of stuff that moves me today. And it's really sad. I ain't trying to knock nobody else.
No, I totally hear you. I totally hear you.
As long as they ain't knocking as long as they're not knocking old ladies upside the head to make a living, fine.
Right.
I'm cool with that. But don't use it in a movement.
Right.
Well, think about it though. I think that social media has made people more detached. I think that the struggles that, I mean, I have children, so I can speak that my children don't have the struggles. I'm kind of the middle between the struggle. My dad had some more, my great grandparents and all that. And I was kind of like, I'll say the next generation of not really as much in the struggle, kind of like the beginning of it, end up being in at the end. My kids don't know what struggle is. My kids don't even know some of the people in the struggle. And I mean, so it's like, they don't really have a lot of stuff to relate to us anymore. Right. So I feel like they're just pulling from straws to get stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is kind of a little bit of a tangent, but Frank, for us who were live performers, what did the COVID lockdown do for you? I know how it affected everybody's bottom line, but what did that do for you from a creative space?
Well, for me, COVID, COVID is kind of a twofold thing for me. The only thing that COVID did to affect me, to drive me crazy, was sit me down from the road. I love touring. I've been a traveler since I was 17, 18 years old. I even getting in my car, going and playing gigs in another city like Erie, Pennsylvania. That to me was traveling. I've been a traveler since I was 18, 19.
Wow.
I'm 53 this year in July. That's all I knew was traveling. And that's what hurt me the most. But what I can say is COVID brought me and my family even closer. You know, my daughter came in from Vegas. My son was home because my daughter lived in Vegas. She came in from Vegas. I had to come in from Russia because my first tour of Russia was taking place when they said, Frank, we got to send you home now.
And that's like 3 years to the day, like from today.
Yeah.
Everything shut down. Yeah.
Yeah, to this day. And I was in Russia. I had to come home. And I was there for a week because I was rehearsing. I had a new Russian band. I did some master classes, the whole 9. I did 2 concerts in Warsaw. No, that's Poland. I'm sorry. And two concerts in St. Petersburg. I think it was in St. Petersburg. And we were getting ready to go to the next city to really kick the tour off. And that's when I got the call on Friday that on Sunday, you going home. So I had to go home. So, but we all got together, and I'm gonna tell you, it was red wine every night, food in this house every day. We got it in during COVID, and because I ate well at home. Now, side note, for just as big as my gift is in music, my wife's gift is just as big in food when it comes to cooking. My wife has the same type of gift that I have in music. She's got the same anointing in the kitchen. I'm not exaggerating either. So, because I was home for that year, and I ate at home for a year for the first time ever in 30 years being together. I say 30, but it wasn't 30 then. But being home that long, well, we like 30, 20, about 28 years, looking at like 28 years or something like that. First time being home that long, I ate at home for a whole year and actually lost weight. I lost weight.
Healthier.
I lost weight because that road
I can see that. I can see that.
Road food to take you out.
Road is
my wife cooking, she helped me to lose all of that weight that I had on me. So we ate well. We all had red wine. We fought like devils in this house because it became cabin fever. But it ended with red wine every night. And we did not take the issues of today into tomorrow.
Good.
We practiced that. Yes, we did. I will say, it helped me to step my technical game up when it came to live. That's why I'm so disappointed with the Wi-Fi tripping here in my house because, it's raining outside the whole night. But I put a lot of money into my Wi-Fi. I did because I sat back. I watched a lot of people flub. Everybody, when they started the verses, everybody's stuff was crashing. Everybody was like taking it serious, really competing with people when it was just a name and fun. Let's both get online and get to our fans and just have fun and show some togetherness. Some of those people competed for real, but at the same time, my wife
deathmatch. Yeah, exactly.
Man, so we got us some popcorn and we got us some wine and sat back and just watched everybody mess up. They weren't prepared. Everybody thought this is the new thing. I'm gonna be the first to jump on it now, and I'm getting in on this. I'm gonna be the first one. Everybody gonna follow my lead. I just sat back and watched, man. And then all of a sudden, people noticed, some time went by, and Frank McComb, when is Frank McComb gonna come on live? I was like, I was not
trying to get you the verses.
Nobody came to me with the verses.
They know not to mess with you. I was
always by myself. So nobody came to me with the verses. But when they hit me with that, when it's Frank McComb coming on live, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to come in correct. Right. So I got in touch with my friends at Korg because I endorsed Korg, and they helped me make sure that I had all my sounds right because I used Kronos. I was one of the developers of this keyboard, Kronos.
I love it.
So I got in touch with my guys at QSC because I endorsed QSC, Touch Mix Mix.
I see.
And they helped me get all my EQs together and everything I needed together. And with me owning my masters, I was able to pull up the tracks because I still own the studio sessions. And I manipulated the tracks to fit me. I took some of the electric piano parts off that I knew I would be soloing on and kept all the other parts up. I beefed up the backing vocals so they're blend. And I just took the time to just take all of those sessions that I did. And I duplicated the sessions so I wouldn't mess up the original sessions, right? And then I took the duplicated sessions and adjusted those and then renamed those for live. And then I went online.
But that's work ethic. What you just said there, people just think it's live. But that sounds like at least a week's worth of work, if not 2 weeks.
More,
Oh, dude, because I had to choose the songs. I had to adjust and edit the songs. Then I had to remix those songs.
Right.
And then test them before I went live.
And get them all under your fingers.
Yes, I did. I had to get all of the adjustments, everything. I had to wake my hands up because some of those songs I hadn't performed or played in
Exactly.
years. So, people say they want what I got, but are you willing to do the work? That's the thing. You got to be willing to do the work. If you're not willing to do the work and you want everybody else to do it for you, it's going to be short-lived. I promise you. So when I went live every Friday night, Facebook Live. I went live every Friday night, and I averaged, once I built it up, I was averaging anywhere between 5,000 to 7,000 people in a night for 1 hour. And it was from 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern. And every Friday night I would go live, and those were my numbers. Anywhere between 5,000 to 7,000 people for an hour.
Nice.
Were you able to move product?
I'm sorry?
Were you able to move product during that?
No, I got a lot of Cash App hits, because even with me being independent, I still have to create a budget to make product.
Sure.
I mean, literally, with all this gift, it's only me. There is no support. There's no support coming from any place but God and God alone. And then I got my family. I got my wife who stands by me in everything I do. Everything I do, no matter what decision I make, she stands by me. She'll guide me and say, hey, yo, you might not want to do that. And I said, when I was younger, I wish I would listen to that, because some of the mistakes I wouldn't have made.
I'm one of those too.
That's the truth. That's the truth. I'm still slapping myself in the face for some of that, you know. But at the end of the day, she's my rock. She supports me. I went live. She went and helped me find the cameras. Seriously. So it's like, you got to put in the work. You do.
Yeah.
And for me, I got a lot of support from the fans financially. They did Cash App me. They even wanted to sell me. People, they put in support for my work, you know.
But you kind of indicated by what you said, that whole set of stories, is that your work ethic, your experiences, and then you take that and bring it to the new age. A lot of times what's happening to me now, in my opinion, is that people are starting in the new age and not having that background, that undergirding that foundation, and they don't last because they don't really have, they're wonders for, like, you know, Instagram wonders for 10 seconds. But when you take them, say, put them on stage or try to have them to do their grind, they can't, because they don't have that undergirding of all those experiences you just talked about. And I think that's the difference that's going forward. I hope that this generation will kind of figure out, you're not gonna just make it by being on this screen. You're gonna have to have something off screen to make it on screen. Period.
Well, you know, a lot of people look at this thing from the outside and they look at it as a get rich quick kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know, that's a roll of the dice. That's a pull of the slot machine. You know, it really is. Versus having this stardom where you're up and down real quick, or you got to answer to people to stay up.
Right.
I have learned it's better for me to have a nice career and a nice ministry. You know, a career where I can minister to folks and help other folks. One point I would like to add, one thing I like to point out rather, is independent used to be a lifestyle for artists, but now it's become a genre. Independent is now a genre. And for me, independent has always been a lifestyle, because I've not been able to afford it to be a genre for me. It's still a lifestyle. You have, and I'm not, like I said, once again, I ain't trying to bring down nobody else, but you got legendary artists who are now independent. But you have the fan base to carry you on, even though, I mean, and in most cases, they made the money to where they can sustain themselves, which is a good thing. So in that case, you are independent. You're independent of. You're independent of that big corporation that you were used to having. But you still have help, which is still good. You're just doing it yourself. You're paying for it. You know, you're putting up for yourself, or you're not with the mainstream situation anymore. But for some of us, and I'd have to say me specifically, it's still a lifestyle until I find that support, or that support finds me.
It's not a career.
It's literally a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle for me.
But you know, I think at the end of the day, if you do it right, that way it gets you more of your residuals. Because I would talk about that all the time too. If you don't own it, you're not going to make money when you're old. You're going to get money when you're stage, and then when you get old, you're not going to still have. When people are playing your music, you sit in your rocking chair, you're not making money.
See, that's one of the things that Prince and I did talk about when I worked for Prince. Prince, I believe that I had a lot of respect from Prince because I did own it. You know, I don't own the first two albums, Love Stories and The Truth. I don't own those two albums.
Okay.
But from Straight from the Vault, which is number 3, all the way up to now, it's all mine. Straight from the Vault won me my first award, Best Album of the Year, with soultracks.com, which I respect, you know. And that's my third album, but it's the first record where I did everything independently on my own. There's nobody on that whole album but me. And it got me my first award, which I'm grateful for.
Nice.
So from Straight from the Vault in 2000, 2004, I'm sorry, all the way up to now, Learn How to Love, the duet I'm about to release with the great Walter Williams of the OJs, all of that belongs to me. All of that belongs to me.
There's a beauty in there, Frank, that there's some artists. I remember when back in the day when they used to have these producer artists, and producers would be getting, you know, I don't even know what it was, but at least like 100,000 per track or even more.
Right.
You know, and there are a lot of these artists that, you know, they would crank out these hits, but they didn't understand the machine.
Right.
So when the producer went away,
absolutely,
they couldn't reproduce it on their own.
Yeah.
You had the blessing of industry collapse, and you had to get in here and understand how the soup is made, how to make the dessert, how to do the barbecue ribs. And you're exhausted, but you can still eat. You know, there's a whole bunch of people who are hungry who can't eat.
I was saying in every sense of that, because Nisa cooked every bit of what you just said.
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
Woo, yeah, man. But it's the truth, though. It was the blessing in the downfall, and we normally don't see that it's a blessing when we're going through it, especially being younger. Especially being younger, we don't see the blessing in it. That's when faith is really tested. Faith is tried and tested, boy. I'm telling you.
And relationships, all of that.
Many nights I had conversations with God, and I'm like, "Do you know what you're doing?"
Right. Now, I got faith in you, but you know what's up.
Do you know what you're doing? No, come on. God, come on now. And I'm like stupid every bit of 23, 24, 25.
Bro,
you know.
you see these awards behind me? I have put those Grammys in a box and moved out of my house into a rental house with those Grammys.
I believe
now, years later, praise God, I have taken them out of the rental house and moved them back to my house. I've seen it all.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
I understand what you're talking about, and people don't get it. They don't get it. Yeah. They just see you on stage. You bop, 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 bop. You're going through. You haven't seen your family in weeks. You can't stand the dude standing next to you. You want to go home. You just want to go home. Yeah, exactly. Like if I sing this stupid song one more time, I'm gonna choke somebody. I got you spread love right here. Right. I get it, man. I get it. Man, we are grateful. We're grateful for you, man. We're grateful for you.
But especially a group of 6. I got mad respect for y'all. I mean, because I'm telling you, man, I remember when Columbia had to have Branford cut Buckshot LaFunk down in the 90s. He had to cut the touring band down. Wow. Yeah, man, we had like 12 people. I think we had to cut down to 9 or 7 or some crazy number like that. But I'm just glad I was able to stay in the number, because one thing I learned about Joseph in the Bible: stay needed. If you're always needed, you'll always have a job. And I was the only vocalist, and I was the only one to bring as much soul to the band that I brought to the band. So I kept a gig.
Word. That's a word. Yeah.
Always be needed. You'll always have a gig, man.
Yeah.
It'll always be the answer. If you can be the answer, and a positive answer possible to the problem, you'll always be needed. You'll always have a gig, man.
Okay, keep going with that now. So if you had to talk to 18-year-old Frank, and you say, Frank, at 53, you're going to be still in this business. You're going to be handling it, but here's something I need you to know right now.
Woo! Don't take on all those managers that thought they knew what they were doing. Don't listen to people gas you up and tell you this is your year, you're going to be great.
Right.
Watch out for that flattering tongue.
Wow.
I would tell Frank, you're going to do the right thing with the money that you do make, because you're raising 2 kids.
Yeah.
You're doing the right thing by telling your wife to raise your kids, and you go out there and make the money. And you're doing right. Don't think that you're going to sink. You know, you're not going to sink. Don't think that. Those are the things that I would speak to myself. I hate to say it this way, but keep family out your business.
Yeah, I get that.
Don't do business with family. Only give people 2 strikes. Ain't no third.
Speak out.
No, ain't no third. Ain't no third. First time, okay, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. You don't get a third.
Right.
No, you don't get a third strike. This ain't baseball.
Right.
Yeah.
But before we go,
don't trust everybody. You ain't in heaven yet.
Do that again.
Don't trust everybody. You ain't in heaven yet. Yeah. Yep.
True that.
These are the things I
real.
would tell 18-year-old Frank. Yeah. I know one thing's for sure. When I was a kid, if you would have told me that my first record was gonna come out in the year 2000, I probably would have quit. 2000 sounded a long way in 1985.
Wow.
Yeah, those are the things I would tell them.
To end this and to say I have to end it and I hate to end it, can you tell everyone how they can reach you and continue to follow you?
Your socials.
Can we do a part 2?
Please, we'd love that. We love
that. Say when. Just say when. I have a one-stop shop where you can find everything. It's frankmccombmusic.com. MCCOMB. frankmccombmusic.com. There you will find my Bandcamp and my apparel right here.
Nice.
You'll find all my social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I need to get the information for my radio show up there. I once had a radio show called The Living Room with Frank McComb.
Nice.
And I ran it for almost 4 years, and I stopped doing it like 3 or 4 years ago. And it was like having I could go from Stevie Wonder to Oscar Peterson to Elton John. It was like being in my house. But then with me doing everything, I just didn't have the time to put together a 2-hour show. So now, fast forward to now, I had a friend that opened up an opportunity for me to be on iHeart and many other places. Now, the living room is called Frank McComb's Living Room. On every Saturday and Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and it's all things Frank McComb.
Nice.
So I had to learn, if I couldn't get radio, you got to become the thing you don't need sometimes. I mean, you have to become the things that you need sometimes. And I needed radio, so I became radio. So now it's Frank McComb's Living Room, all things Frank McComb. 1 hour Frank McComb for 2 nights. Saturday and Sunday nights, all Frank McComb music and anything affiliated with Frank McComb. All me. So that I got to get that information on frankmccombmusic.com. Bandcamp is cool for everybody to go to Spotify and all of the places where you get the music, the digital outlets. I appreciate it. But when you download your music, I see those proceeds 3 months later. But if you go to frankmccomb.bandcamp.com, you get your downloads right away, and I see the proceeds in 3 days at max.
I love it.
So support the artist and not the system.
Absolutely. Well, we might have to have a part 3.
I'm down with that.
What stuff you doing?
We love you, Mr. Frank McComb. We love what you talked to us about today, and we will have another part to this because it was just too much in one time. So thank you for your time.
Absolutely. We love you, brother. We got your back. We're proud of you. Man. Thank you for giving so much beauty to this world, and love to your family, and many, hopefully we'll cross each other's paths on the road, and we will definitely do a part 2.
Let's do it. Love you back. Appreciate you guys so much. Y'all be cool.